Welcome to Tridenlogy, the channel that's all about fascinating facts and discoveries. In this video, we will be delving into the topic of toxic people and how to handle them with intelligence. We all know that person, the one who leaves you feeling worse off after interacting with them. It's common to refer to these people as being toxic, but it's important to keep in mind that this term isn't grounded in psychology and doesn't have a simple definition. If you have a hard time dealing with someone in your life, it's helpful to start by pinpointing problematic behaviors, rather than simply labeling them as being toxic. 1. Avoid playing into their reality. Some people have a tendency to see themselves as the victim in every situation. If they mess up, they might shift the blame to someone else or tell a story that paints them in a more positive light. You might feel tempted to nod and smile in order to prevent an angry outburst. This might feel like the safest option, but it can also encourage them to see you as a supporter. While your disagreement might upset them, it might also lower the chances they'll try involving you again. 2. Stay away from it. Toxic behavior from another person is depleting and must be dealt with. The person may constantly complain about other people, have a new story of wrongdoing, or even accuse you of wronging them or not being sympathetic to their condition. Don't join in their grumbling or rush to defend yourself if you're accused of something. Simply saying, "I'm sorry you feel that way," is adequate as a response. 3. Focus on how you feel around them. Knowing how you react to someone's poisonous behavior can help you handle future contacts with that person. Almost everyone has said something nasty or hurtful they later regretted. Everyone has bad days, and it's easy to lose your temper when you're not feeling your best. There's no guarantee that this is safe, but you should check if most of your encounters consist of insults, lies, or other forms of emotional and verbal abuse. Are they sorry, or do they seem to care how you feel about what they've said or done? 4. Talk with them about their actions. Someone who spreads stories, exploits others as pawns, or makes things more theatrical than necessary may have no understanding how their actions affect others. It's possible that an open dialogue with them will help them recognize the mistake of their ways. Use I statements, which are less accusatory to the other person, and set acceptable limits to keep the conversation on a neutral basis. 5. Make yourself a priority. Toxic behavior, on the other hand, does not have to be abusive or nasty. Other actions can produce similar harm. Maybe every time you see this person, they're in a bad predicament and desperately need your help. You're always giving and they're always taking, Suskind says, or you feel like their emotional stability is dependent on you. You care for this person and want to help them, but you should not jeopardize your own health or safety. Healthy relationships involve giving and taking, Suskind says. That is, you not only provide but also receive assistance. 6. Don't try to fix them, just be sympathetic. People have the potential to develop, but only if they are committed to making the necessary effort. You should consider whether or not helping a loved one would be preferable than ignoring them entirely. Even if you show them kindness and sympathy, it's unlikely they'll modify their behavior. They ultimately must choose to do the necessary effort. It can be emotionally draining to try to assist someone change before they are ready. 7. Say no and walk away. Do you find it tough to say no to people? Simply said, you're not alone. It's also difficult to remain firm when someone tries to shame you into changing your mind by saying things like, "I'm sure you'd regret it if you didn't." If, on the other hand, you choose to decline, be firm. This could be tough, especially if they resort to dramatic conduct to achieve their goals. Saying no to things that make you uncomfortable can be tough at first, but with experience, it becomes easier. 8. Never forget that you are not to blame. When interacting with toxic people, you may begin to doubt your own conduct, even if you know you haven't. It's not easy to be attacked by someone who demonstrates poisonous behavior. They may attack you personally, misinterpret what you say, or accuse you of attempting to make them feel awful. There will come a point when you will doubt your actions and try to come up with a better alternative. But keep in mind that their behaviors have nothing to do with you. Reiterate your boundaries and resist taking their hostility personally. Calm down by taking several long breaths or simply acknowledge their comments and let them go. 9. Disappear from sight. According to Suskind, toxic personalities frequently sense who they can manipulate. When they realize their techniques are ineffective against you, they may give up and move on. If you're consistently unavailable, they may give up trying to interact with you. When you offer reasons, you may be treated with passive-aggressive comments or direct accusations. If you're upset, try not to say anything. Remember, this is not about you. 10. Cut down on the amount of time you spend together. Is there somebody you absolutely refuse to see? Are you worried or stressed about it ahead of time? This is your body's way of informing you that you should see them less often. Toxic people are usually focused with themselves and their desires. They may be unconcerned about how you feel or what you require, instead blaming you or others for their problems. As a result, being in their presence may induce discomfort. You might want to spend less time with someone who is continuously provoking you into an argument or overstepping your boundaries. So what should be when needed to connect with them? If reducing or avoiding a person's presence is not an option, other options must be considered. 1. Establish limits. Suskind's words emphasize the value of boundaries. Limits must be established by determining what behavior is acceptable and what is not. Set and maintain these boundaries through clear communication. Perhaps you enjoy your coworkers' improbable stories. Verbal abuse and defamation, on the other hand, cross the line. If they start making fun of a coworker, say something like I said, I'm not interested in this type of conversation. Leave the room if you can't perform any of those things. 2. Consider an escape route. If there is no obvious way out of a terrible conversation, you may feel guilty about leaving it. You can always leave on good terms. If you find it useful, you should practice a few stock lines that you may use in any occasion. Use an apology such as, I'm sorry, but I have to stop you. Sorry, but I can't go into this right now since I have a lot of work to do, or I'm waiting for an important phone call. 3. Try out a new routine. Does a member of your family frequently interrupt your study time or cause you to be late for work? Perhaps a coworker is constantly complaining about how people treat them during lunch. Shaking up your regular routine can help you avoid unpleasant conversations. Instead of sitting in the break area, you may have your lunch in another room, listen to music, or read a book. It can be difficult to avoid close relatives. Kindly but firmly express your want to prioritize your schooling. If you're on your way out, practice your quick escape strategy. Sorry, I'm late. 4. Inspire them to seek assistance. The motivations of those who engage in harmful behavior are not always clear. However, it could be useful to take into account the possibility that they are going through tough times on a personal level, which is making them lash out. This does not justify bad behavior, but it may shed light on why it occurs. Consider pointing out some detrimental behaviors and explaining how they affect others to someone with whom you share a close relationship if you feel they are behaving in a poisonous way. If you feel comfortable doing so. Encourage them to consult a therapist if they show signs of being open to discussing the issues that are driving their behavior. Suskind argues that psychotherapy can help people identify problematic behaviors and learn to manage their emotions and reactions in healthier ways. 5. Leave out the emotions. Suskind suggests maintaining a superficial level of conversation at all times. The key, she says, is to be clear about how you are and aren't willing to interact. For example, utilizing another person's private information to incite conflict is a toxic habit. Keep talks with someone you know who engages in such behavior light and casual. Just say, actually, I prefer not to talk about my relationship at work, to anyone who tries to pry or share too much about your personal life at the office. 6. Just chill out. Your heart may race at the thought of meeting the other person, and you may worry how you can possibly maintain your composure in their presence. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more content on personal development and self-improvement. See you in next video.